almost forgot to clap. Hey, Laura, how you doing?
Hey, Colin, I'm okay. How are you? We mentioned at the beginning, before we started recording, hey, you got a haircut.
I did. I've been cutting my own hair every 2 weeks for the past couple of months. Getting better at it.
Wait, how did I not see this last? Oh, we haven't recorded on video for a while, have we?
I think we recorded. I usually have my big over-ear headphones on, and that might block it. I don't know. But I'm not using them this time because thanks to you, I have a fancy new computer set up. You helped me get that going. However, I neglected to buy a webcam because I was like, I don't use a webcam for anything. It's fine. Oh, wait, I used one with Laura. Oops. So I'm actually FaceTiming with you on my iPad and recording on my Mac. So I have my AirPods in, so you can finally see the hack job I've made of my scalp, which is, I mean, I've been getting better at it. Okay, so every time I go to get a haircut, my head shape and hairline is weird. I got kind of a big head. I don't have like a Brian Fonder head. I don't think he listens to this, but like you'll see how high up the part is on my head. Like it's pretty narrow, like the part that's on the top. And every time I would go to get a haircut, I'd be like, go a little higher. And they'd be like, no, I'm nervous. It's going to look bad. And then one day I was finally like, no, go all the way up. And then she was like, oh my God, it worked. I was like, yeah, I know. It's scary. And she was like, oh, thank God. So I have had to go through that myself where each week I'm like, nah, I don't need to go that high. And then I fuck something up. I'm like, damn it. So for like the last couple months, I've been taking the clippers higher and higher up on the head. It is still not perfect, but boy, howdy, is it better than it looked during the first 6 months of the pandemic.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's fun. Cover it. Thanks. Covered a lot of ground in that tiny little story there. Crap, I have nothing else to say. I'm so boring. No. How have you been doing? I heard you seem to be having an eventful morning.
Yeah, well, we moved. We bought a house and we moved into it last week on Monday. It's now Saturday. Thank God we took vacation because holy shit, there's still so much to do. Yep. But we've just been unpacking boxes and, being homeowners and stuff.
So you go ahead. Sorry.
So we knew, you said we had an event for morning. We knew that this house would occasionally, like they said a couple times a year, like the basement would get kind of wet, like the water would come up through the floor. And we were like, all right, that makes sense. Like we've been in a lot of areas in New Jersey where that happens. And unfortunately, it's basically just been raining for like 36 hours now.
Yep, sure has.
And so our basement is starting to flood a little bit. And we have two areas where our gutters are having an issue. So one area by the front porch or the front door is just like a freaking waterfall. And we don't know if it's because it's all clogged up or if there's something wrong. Like we just don't know. We don't have a ladder tall enough to get up there yet. And then the other area, just a piece of gutter broke off in a windstorm right before we closed on the house. And
that's how they get you.
Yeah. And we have been so busy that we haven't called a gutter person yet. And now we're really regretting that. Yep. So, but Charles kind of jerry-rigged together some like buckets with extra gutter pieces from the garage to like make little spouts to, spread
kind
the
of like
water
how I
out.
used to use Hot Wheels tracks to roll marbles around in these very special courses, except this time thousands of dollars are on the line.
Exactly.
Adulthood's fun.
But it's actually been really nice. Like we are almost entirely unpacked on the main living floor. So the kitchen, dining room, living room. Charles is working on his office. So he's like staining his desk and he painted the walls. So he's been working on that this week. And then we just need a dresser for upstairs because we have this like weirdly big closet, but it doesn't have any like shelves or drawers in it. It's also kind of whack. It's actually where I am sitting right now.
Okay, fair. That explains some of the coats and shirts behind you.
So we kind of need some of that stuff for me to be able to unpack my clothes properly. So I think the upstairs is going to take a little bit longer to totally get lived in. But it feels good. It's been a busy week.
Yeah. I
mean, every day I'm like, oh, I'm going to like sit down for 5 minutes. And then I don't do that. And then all of a sudden it's been like midnight. And I'm like, fuck. Also, Eleanor's been waking up at like 5:30 a couple days. This morning, she kind of woke up and like shrieked at 5:30, and then I was like, I'm not getting you out of bed until it's at least 6:30. Like I refuse to do that. And then she went back to sleep, which is good. So
that was good. I've been waking up at 6:30 just this whole week.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I know I'm not a small child. Some people would say, but Yeah, just this morning, woke up at 6:30, couldn't get back to sleep, started watching TV, woke up Rebecca. She was not pleased.
Oh,
Put
what?
put it put in some headphones after that.
I was about to say, you can AirPods to your TV. Why wouldn't you just start with that?
I didn't. It's fine. As she got back to sleep, everything's okay. I also, so I'm sitting here. So I'm editing Dice. I'm in the middle of a Dice Populi edit right now, taking a break to have a chat with you. And in my new little editing setup, it's pretty much the same as before, just bigger, nicer, and more functional. Oh, what are you smiling at? What's happening?
My baby, obviously.
Oh!
Hi! She just woke up from a nap and she's so pretty.
Oh.
Bye-bye, have fun.
That is like the biggest, most genuine smile I've seen in my entire life. Don't read into that too much. Anyway, so it's, as you said, it's been raining 36 hours. Now, I have a lot of friends that are all over the country, as do I think a lot of people, just in general. But that sort of removes the conversational go-to that is, what's the weather today? Because even my friends like further west in New York, like weather out west is usually radically different than the weather out east. We are much closer to the coast. They are closer to the lakes up north and the mountains and stuff. So even people just a couple hours away can't talk about weather. But as soon as we got on the call, I was like, man, it's been cold and rainy and gross. And yeah, Laura's experiencing the exact same thing.
Yep. It's
we
like
always do
high
seem
of 50.
to have, yeah, even though we're 4 hours apart, the weather seems to stretch just far enough for that. How's your headphone cable treating you?
Not great.
Yeah.
I was trying not to touch the mics because obviously
Yeah.
that's, I'm recording on headphones that I don't normally record on. I usually have a mic. And somehow my toe got stuck in it.
Why? I don't know what's going on below the camera, and I'm like weirdly fascinated now.
Well, I'm sitting on the ground, and my computer is like, between my knees or whatever on the ground. And I tried to move my leg because I was sitting kind of cross-legged, and that wasn't getting comfortable. So I tried to move my leg out, but then then
it right up.
I couldn't find like a normal size lightning cable, so I have my phone plugged into my computer with a 3-meter lightning cable. That's a braided one, so it's also kind of thick, and there's just a lot of cables going on.
A lot of cables going on, yeah.
Here, I'll take a picture of it so we can.
Yes, please.
Show the
despite
folks at home.
my years doing cable management in an Apple store, a franchise renowned for its merchandising, cleanliness, and organization, I'm scared to look behind my computer right now after I just set everything up. When I'm not getting paid for it, boy howdy do I care a lot less.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, it's very cold. I'm actually kind of glad because I haven't been having to like run the AC and I can get some fresh air and still have it kind of cool. I'm also in an upstairs apartment, so I think it's generally a bit warmer up here.
Yeah.
So it being like 50s, 60s is usually pretty fine. However, when I'm sitting here editing in the morning, haven't moved around a lot, haven't warmed up or anything, so I got cold toes. And I don't know why I haven't been doing this forever, but I just like took my heating pad that I use for my back, put it on the ground, turn it on, don't have cold toes anymore. Just
That sounds pretty great.
yeah, like I am not rich enough to afford any sort of heated floor. This is next best thing. It's like super pleasant. Yeah. If you ever find yourself like working at a desk at work, like I don't know how much you sit down there anymore, sneak a little heating pad on the floor, bust those tootsies out, get a little roast on.
Nice. Yeah,
That
sounds great.
It's really nice. I don't have to. I'm not wearing my slippers. Just toes on the heating pad.
Nice.
I don't know if this sounds sad or happy, but I'm very happy about it. I like it a lot.
I ended up buying one of those battery-powered hand warmers from Eddie Bauer a couple of seasons ago when I was still doing scheduling, and it was like 4 degrees. So, yeah, I feel that. I did consider sometimes I would put them in the top of my boots, so it would, heat up my ankles.
That's gotta be nice. Yeah,
I couldn't quite get it to the toes while I was at work, but it helped.
You suddenly walk in with boots 4 sizes too big, and people are like, "What's how you doing, Laura?" And you're like, "I'm doing so great.
Yeah,
I feel
I've
so
never
good."
been better.
Oh man, yeah. I'm glad that the move's going well. I know that's definitely been your big project.
Yeah, we hired movers, which was like beyond the right decision this time. I mean, it's so impossible to like do anything for more than 45 minutes with Eleanor. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. Is like you've obviously moved around quite a bit the last few years. How does baby factor into that?
Woof. I thought it was hard when I was pregnant. but at least like I could control my own body.
Yeah.
This is a whole new game.
Yeah.
It's been tough. I mean, it's been really hard to try to get everything settled. And I mean, it's going well and we've been really productive for the past couple of days. I think to the detriment of my probably mental health a little bit, I've been working a lot after Eleanor goes to bed at like 7:30. So like we've been eating dinner at like 8 o'clock and then I'll do things until like 10 and then hang out for like an hour.
Yeah.
And I should really just be going to bed earlier because she's getting up early and
yeah,
I'm tired. I'm very tired.
Yeah, I'm getting...
But it feels really good. Like we had the living room set up first. Like Charles has been working on that. I have so much kitchen shit. It is
Wait, you didn't know this?
Unbelievable. I knew that I had a lot of kitchen stuff, but we were also in a big kitchen last time. Like I guess we must have gotten some stuff since we moved there. Like I don't know, man. We packed 110 boxes and like it felt like maybe 40 of them were in the kitchen.
That when you said 110 boxes, I like rolled my head back, kind of the way my cats have been as I've been putting collars on them over the last 12 hours, just to share my reaction there. 110 boxes. I get it. There's three of you, and I am very dispassionate about the things I hang on to. So 110 boxes is bananas to me.
It was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. I mean, kitchen stuff. I can see hanging on to kitchen stuff. Yeah, I can see that adding up. I have a hard time, like, if I can't fit all my clothes into 2 or 3 boxes, I feel like I'm messing up.
Yeah, but then there's 3 of us.
Exactly. Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And I'm just like...
And we have all of Eleanor's, like, smaller clothes that she doesn't fit anymore, and we have a bunch of stuff that's bigger for her. Like, she does not take up less space than me and Charles. She also eats as much as us now. It is actually insane. So for breakfast this morning, me and Charles baked eggs, which was lovely. A little tomato sauce in the bottom, cracked 2 eggs in it, a little bit of milk, a little Parmesan cheese, a little shredded cheese, and some salt and pepper, whatever. Throw that in the oven for a little bit. Had an English muffin and a yogurt. Ellie ate 2 scrambled eggs, a yogurt that was basically the same size as mine, and half a cup of oatmeal with a whole handful of raspberries.
That's more than Rebecca eats in most meals.
Yeah, and that's normal for her. Last night, she ate
Isn't she 1?
She's 11 months.
Yeah.
Yep,
She's eating 2 eggs as like half her meal?
Yeah, it's actually insane.
That's crazy. That's so much.
Insane. Last night for dinner, she ate a chicken thigh and a half, half an avocado, a whole bunch of green beans, and then she was still hungry, and I was like, fuck, what do I give her? So he gave her like a piece of bread, like a piece of toast, and she ate the entire piece of toast.
Does Charles have any insight as to like the normalcy of being such a hungry baby? Because she's not that big.
No, she's really not that big, which is surprising. Like she's not even chunky. Like she's got some cute baby rolls, but like she's not like a huge baby by any means. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but I don't know. I mean, you and I both listen to a lot of McElroy content, so I think we've both been getting an earful of what Griffin and Rachel have been experiencing with baby Gus.
Yeah.
And like they describe him as a very large child. And Ellie, like she's a pretty average sized baby as far as I have not met her yet, but like you've never portrayed her as being a large child. So when you lay out that meal plan, it's insanity.
It's insane. Yeah. She's always been like between the 20 and 40th percentiles in her height, weight, and 90th plus in her head size. That's not a joke.
That's very fun.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We have our 1-year appointment coming up, so I'm interested to see how much she actually weighs and like what her length is and everything. Because I mean, she definitely grew. But
speaking of measuring small creatures, so there's been a bit of a fuss going on around here. I like to take my cats outside.
Yes.
Because they like to go outside. It's a lot of exercise. It's fresh air. It's like maybe 20, 30 minutes at most on the days I do it, which is a couple times a week at most. It really depends on the weather. Somebody has been fucking complaining about my cats. They're completely supervised all the time. They don't go anywhere except around the grassy area in front of my apartment, and they don't damage anything.
Yeah, who's saying what? What are they saying?
I asked. I haven't gotten a response yet. I asked, and I was like, if their complaint is there are cats, then I don't really see the problem.
Right.
But in anticipation of a hammer coming down and me not being able to just take them outside with me, I am getting Odo reacquainted with collars and harnesses. I'm getting Jayla acquainted with them for the first time. So yesterday, which was my first day of full vaccination.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. I went to a pet store to get some stuff, and I bought some harnesses for him. I measured Jayla. She's a pretty small cat. And Odo is a pretty big cat. I know it's a little vague, but I'll get there. Went to the pet store. I bought like a regular cat size harness and a small cat size harness. I checked out and I went over to the machine. I started printing them up little tags. Just because if there's a good chance they'll get out of the harnesses and run away, and I need them to have a collar if that happens. And while I'm doing that, I look next to me, and there's a small dog harness, and I'm just like, that looks roughly Odo-sized. And then I called Rebecca, and she's like in the middle of doing all this work. I'm like, can you please measure Odo for me? And she's like, his chest is 22 inches circumference. And I look at the thing, that is the upper end of small dog size.
Wow.
On the sizing chart. So I immediately went up to the cash register. I was like, I need to return these. And then I got him a small dog size harness. And I think it's too small.
Oh no.
He's kind of fat right now. But also, he's a big cat, and I think
of him. I remember when you got him, and so I think of him as being a kitten still. I don't think of him as being like a big cat, but obviously that was.
He was not like a large cat until he was maybe 2.5 to 3 years old. Jayla is just now over 2 years old, and she is literally half his size. Yeah, and they wrestle all the time, so I'm very scared for her. But. Yeah, I put this actual dog harness on my cat, and it fits his chest fine, but toward the waist, it really pinches, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to probably go back to the store and return this again and be like, hey, my cat's too big.
Can I get a medium dog size harness for my cat?
Yeah, so I mean, I got the collars on them, and they don't love it, but they're fine with it. Jayla, she's been very cute wearing the harnesses because I don't know if you've ever done this with cats, or I don't know how much I've explained it. If you put a harness on a dog for the first time, it's kind of not a big deal. Most of the time, they'll ruffle around a little bit and then start moving. A cat, when you put a harness on them, thinks this is not my preferred state of being, so I will stop being. And then they fall over. And that's kind of it. It alternates between that and trying to escape the harness. So for the first hour we put one on Jayla, she was just walking backwards as fast as we can, as fast as she could, trying to walk backward out of it, not understanding what's happening. She'll run, stand completely still, leap 3 feet forward, and then scream running out of the room, and she just doesn't get it. Odo just plopped over and growled at me a lot. He really does not love it. Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit of a process for me, but that was my night last night.
Well, it sounds entertaining at the very least.
It's so funny. It's so hilarious to watch them not understand what's happening. Yeah. Because I know they're fine. I know nothing is wrong. And they have to get used to it if I'm going to take it. The thing is... The whole thing with the cat complaint is I can see the park from my bedroom window. Right. So if I take them outside, I'm just going to take them through the same area they hang out on a leash. And then when people say something, I'm like, no, I'm taking them to the park. Almost nothing is going to change. Except I get to watch them. Yeah. Tee-hee-hee-hee. It's very funny. I'm going to get some pictures of Odo in that harness because boy, howdy, it's a good time.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. Yeah. Did you actually get what the complaint was, or was it just hey, we've had some complaints about the cat?
First thing, I got one email that said, hey, your cats are roaming freely. That's not allowed. And I was like, hey, I'm supervising them. They are not roaming freely. That was explicit when I moved in here. You can't have outdoor cats. Right. And a cat that goes outside is not an outdoor cat. An outdoor cat is a cat that spends half their time outside. They just go out and you leave them unsupervised and they do their thing. Then I got another email that said hey, I got another complaint. So that was the first time I was told there was a complaint. And I was like, the thing said they can't be in recreational areas. They're literally on the sidewalk. And I'm like, is the sidewalk a recreational area? Can I know the complaint? What? Yeah. Blah. So, and then nothing back from that. I imagine that the guy who has to send these emails doesn't want to deal with it at all. when someone emails him like, hey, the weird dude has his cats again, he's probably just like, oh my God, I have to email this fucking guy. I don't want to get his replies. I don't want to talk to him about his cats. It's got to ruin his day as much as it ruins mine. And I totally understand that. I have an idea of who it is, but like, I'm not about to get in a pissing contest with neighbors over this. I'm just going to lay low for a little bit, get him used to the harnesses. I'll bust him out. And if I get another thing, I'll just take him to the park.
Have you considered baking them cookies?
I thought you meant the cats for a second. I was like, no, they're already too big.
Just as a bribery?
No, because the person I think it is sprayed my cats with a hose.
Oh.
Yeah, no, if it is who I think it is, they're dicks. And if it's not who I think it is, they're less of dicks, but also dicks.
Dicks all around?
Dicks all around. Dicks all over. Too bad Apple won't let that be the title of the podcast episode. I don't know. It's not like really drama, but it is just like it's been an annoying week. Yeah, it's like, come on. But I do get to see them in the little collars. Odo looks weirdly handsome with like an orange collar and a little black tag. And I was surprised because I got him a collar before years ago and it was blue. But he's like tan and white, so orange. I was just like, I need to do something that matches. And I even said to Rebecca last night, I'm like, look how handsome she is. She's like, oh, yeah. Blah, blah. And then she looks at me. She's like, oh, wow, he is. I'm like, okay, so I'm not crazy. He is just weirdly handsome with this collar and tag. Because she's not a cat person. So if a cat person says it, I feel vindicated. Otherwise, anything I say about my cats, I accept as a delusion.
Right. That's good to know, I suppose.
I'm aware of it. That's the most I can ask for. Otherwise, this month I did do a big new project that I can't really share openly, but empowered by this new Mac Mini I got. I was like, have you ever seen any stuff on YouTube by Joel Haver? Like the Quest Adventure guy going, adventure awaits. It's a little animation. No.
I gotta be honest. I don't YouTube.
I just wanted to check. I don't YouTube very much either, except to listen to stuff about Destiny and ASMR, or to play sounds in my ears while I'm editing so that the ringing doesn't drive me insane. So he uses this like rotoscoping software. Rotoscoping is when you draw over real life stuff to create animation.
Okay.
So that's it. Instead of just like drawing regular stuff, you take live action footage and you redraw it frame by frame. This is an algorithmic software that just looks at the frames. You draw over one of them and it extrapolates it. And it looks really funny the way he does it because it messes up sometimes and it just looks a little janky and bad, but he like leans into it. And I was like, I want to see what I can do. So I managed to fully animate a 43-second clip of Dice Populi and share it with the patrons for that show. The feedback was either this is nightmare fuel or this is amazing. So that makes me feel good. But I spent like a straight week like ducking all my other work I basically had to trace. I recorded video of myself with a t-shirt on my head. And then I like drew fake hair and stuff over that. And then I spent like a week just processing, animating, and designing it. So eventually that'll be something you can watch. But I learned how to do animations this past month. So big creative project. That was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Felt good. And now I'm having cat wars. So things are going downhill.
Well, it's almost the end of the month, so you'll get to start something afresh in a few days.
I'll get there. It'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, obviously this month has mostly been about moving and stuff. Here's a fun thing about similar to the ringing in your ears. Charles and I got a otoscope. It has a little camera on the end of it, and it connects to your phone with Bluetooth, so you can like look inside your ear. And we originally got it for Ellie, just in case she had like an ear infection or something, and wanted to be able to see into it, like whatever. Then found out it's definitely like a 3 years plus situation, so like not so helpful. But we're like, why don't I just like check out our own ears?
Oh no,
why not?
Oh no.
So Charles, every once in a while, like I'll look at his headphones and it's like crusted in earwax. I'm like, this is fucking disgusting. And I like often just clean it for him because I'm like, he's not gonna do it, and like I need this to be clean right now. And it doesn't make any sense. So we looked in his ears and they were like perfectly clean. And then we looked in my ears and like I never have that issue with headphones. And I don't like it's not like I'm cleaning mine more regularly or anything. And I had like a huge amount of earwax stuck in my right ear.
Oh, no.
And it comes with a little earwax. Like it's an earwax removal thing. Like it comes with a little scoop at the end of it. And so Charles, I mean, like he's a doctor. He does this for a living.
Yes.
So he was like, oh, let me try to scoop some of the earwax out. But apparently had been there for too long. So then it was kind of crusted inside my ear and then it really hurt.
No.
So we had to stop and then I had to get eardrops. So I have these like earwax removal drops and like, you know, I'll put them in and I'll let it sit for a couple minutes and I'll drain it out. And then he like goes back in with the scoop to be like, let's see what's going on today.
Round 2.
And that's been like the highlight of our past 2 days.
Is discovering that you have buildup in your ears.
Yeah. It's been a really exciting month.
It's so nasty. For listeners, the whole time she was saying that, I was literally wringing my hands.
Yeah.
So uncomfortable. I've used the wax drops before because I thought I had buildup when in fact it causing the tinnitus when I think it's something related to dental work.
Yeah.
Because when I got those teeth out, it's like causing me to clench my jaw now, and that's creating problems. But as gross as that was to describe, I am also deeply jealous of the fact that you were able to go in there and find a thing.
Yeah, dude.
Because so many times over the last 6 months, I've been like, there's something going on. I just want to fucking get it.
Yeah.
And you got it.
Yeah, and this thing cost like $30 on Amazon. Like it was super cheap. And like sometimes the camera disconnects, so like it's not, you know, a super high quality thing, but like it totally does the job. And like that is getting earwax out of people's ears is one of Charles' favorite things to do at work. So like he really likes like pimple popping videos and stuff like that. Like he likes working with like cysts and it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
So I think I'm his favorite project right now.
I was about to say, I don't think I could tell Rebecca about the existence of this thing because she'll be asking to look at my ears every 20 minutes. Like when she has a pimple, she's like, can you pop it? Can you pop it? I'm like, no, I won't. No, thanks. She's very much of that same cloth.
Yeah.
Which like good for you guys. I'm glad you're happy.
Yes,
exactly. Is that why he became a doctor?
You know, could be. Who really
maybe
knows?
One day in high school, he tried to pop someone else's pimple and got suspended, and he's like, "There's gotta be a better way." Time to go to school for 12 more years.
Let me get myself into thousands of dollars of debt.
And then when he pops his first pimple as a doctor, he's just like, "Oh, worth it."
I'd do it all again.
We've had some very strange speculation about your husband's motivations on this show.
Why not?
Why not? Well, I don't get though, because like I'm not gonna say I'm perfect about cleaning up my stuff, but like if I notice there's like gunk on my AirPods, I'm like, ooh, let me get at that.
I just don't think he notices.
That's so weird. If he spent 12 years and thousands of dollars to make this his profession, like why wouldn't he just wipe it off his headphones?
Yeah, man. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that he only listens in bed, and so like we're getting ready for bed, and so he like pops them in, then falls asleep, and then like, you know, so he's not really looking at them. I think I hear someone coming up the stairs.
It's Ellie. She demands more eggs.
Maybe. I thought I heard them come up the stairs, but I think maybe they were just playing on the stairs. I got excited to see her. She was napping, so I haven't seen her in like 2 hours.
Oh man. No, he's not napping anymore. Odo was on the bed. I wanted to see if he was still napping. He's not. He's cleaning himself. This is not the beginning of his story. I got distracted.
You were just curious.
Yeah, I was about to like sort of like roast you for like it's been 2 hours, and here I am like, ooh, what's my cat doing?
Yeah.
So I guess I should just shut up before I get ahead of myself.
Well, it's really funny because like I love when she's asleep because I can like do things and like in my mind I'm gonna relax even though I haven't done that in a long time. Mm-hmm. And it's really great, but like as soon as she goes to sleep I'm also like, fuck, I miss her. But then when we're hanging out I'm like, God, I'm so tired. Like, can't you just go to sleep?
Yep.
So
there is no normal anymore.
Yeah.
It's all done. It's fine. If I've learned anything from both Rebecca with her children and watching Scrubs, though it will never get back to normal, when they start talking, it's gonna be just like a different, like a game, like a fun kind of thing to engage with.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's the motivation, it'll be fun to sit down and be like, man, that's a person I talked to.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
That was a person I made. So
I mean, even now, like, she's starting to get more independent, and like she can't walk on her own yet, but if you hold her fingers, she wants to be walked. Like, she doesn't want to be carried around anymore. And to like watch her process things and like make decisions and like choose to go over to X, Y, or Z, like, it's really the best. We're teaching her how to high five. It's amazing. She's not very good at it yet. But she's getting there. She's fun. Yeah. She's really fun. She's like at a stage that is like very interactive, and it's a lot of fun. It takes a lot of energy, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah, I can imagine. That is maybe the hurdle that I can't get past the most. And you've never been quite as bad as me with this, but like when I think about any sort of social engagement or like personal responsibility, I have to do the math in my head of like how much will this drain me after. And I know that in parenthood there is no after.
Yeah.
It's just always the thing. So I mean, you've handled the transition pretty admirably. Like you haven't become a miserable person. But at the same time, I'm just like, how are you functioning? Because if I have a week where I burn myself out, I'm like, I'll get 2 days after.
Yeah.
I can build that in.
She brings us so much joy that it is like manageable, but I definitely have days like Charles stayed up late the other night and then woke up late, and by late I mean like it was like 9:15, which is like, you know, I'd been awake for 3 hours already. Like
that's late. It was for me, yeah.
And I was super cranky about it because I was like, I'm fucking, you know, I went to bed late too because like we ended up having like we had a nice evening together. Like we opened a bottle of champagne that the homeowners left for us to like, you know, transition us over and be like congratulations, and like, you know, we were watching TV together and playing games. Like we just had a nice night, so I went to bed at like almost midnight, and I had to get up at like 6 and like, you know, feed and play and walk and everything, and like he got to sleep in, and I got back from our walk and he was awake, and I was like, you are taking Ellie tomorrow. I'm gonna feed her in the morning, and then it is you, and I'm going the fuck back to sleep because I am so tired. And just every once in a while, like I have that where I'm just like, I can't do it. You and just do the thing.
And what he says is fine, but deep down he's like, I'm going to get so much gunk out of that kid's ears. You have no fucking idea. That is what he lives for.
Yeah.
Being a doctor wasn't enough. Have a kid, more debt, more wax.
More wax. More wax. More debt, more wax.
More debt, more wax. That's it. Oh, man.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's nice now that she's like getting older and like she doesn't need me as much. So it is much easier for me to just be like, here's the baby or here's the monitor and like bye, to have a little bit of time.
That's gotta be, yeah, no, that's gotta be nice. Oh man. Oh, I feel like I popped really loud into my mic there. Oh, yep, yeah, I did. Gonna have to get rid of that.
Pop pop.
Pop pop. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it is the rain, but I'm a little low energy today.
Yeah, my eyes are tired for sure.
Yes, I got just like that. Like if I just sat still, I feel like I might fall asleep. But
yeah, there's definitely a part of me that wants to like end the call now and go curl up in the corner of the closet and be like, "Oh no, Charles, we recorded for like an hour and a half. What happened?" Oh, you froze. There it is.
Yeah, I heard the joke. Everything's fine. Jokes accomplished. Yeah, I mean, I can cover for you if that's what you got to do. Just text Charles to say, "Hey, we're about to really get into something here." Pass. Like I will back you up on that.
Nah, I'm gonna go feed her and stuff. On the other hand, did you watch The Nevers yet?
No, I have not. I've sort of stopped talking. I've sort of stopped going through all my stuff because after Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was like, let me just rewatch all the MCU. I just finished WandaVision this morning, so that's nice. that's what I've been watching. And Destiny takes up a lot of time, so I've not checked out The Nevers. I probably will after I finish For All Mankind, which is great.
I haven't started that yet.
Really good. How's The Nevers going?
It's the mid-season break right now. I have read that it's got some mixed reviews. Like some people think it's a little bit disjointed. I don't know. I really love it. It's 6 episodes so far. And it's just like a really, I don't know. The finale was pretty bonkers. Like the mid-season finale was very different than the rest of the season.
I know that for a lot of very valid reasons, Joss Whedon is no longer affiliated with the project. Probably a good thing. But how would you... Like, would you say that this is like comparable to a Firefly, a Dollhouse, an Avengers kind of tone or feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very different setting because it's like set in. It feels a little bit more like most of the season feels a little bit more fantasy than that. Although I guess I don't know. Yeah, it is pretty comparable.
Because I could go. I just remember in my MCU binge here, like. I did timeline order, so I watched like Captain Marvel like before most things, which is a little weird tonally. But like, I'm watching Iron Man. I'm like, wow, Iron Man's super good. I'm watching Thor. I'm like, Thor is super okay. And then I hit Avengers, and I'm just like smiling the whole movie. It's a 10-year-old movie at this point, and I'm just like, this is just fucking fun. Yeah. It moves, everything clicks, and it like if you put it on paper. Stuff can be disjointed, but like it just cruises. Yeah. And it got me thinking back about like maybe I should rewatch Firefly. Maybe I should rewatch Dollhouse.
Dollhouse is incredible. Yeah.
They have that same momentum to them that Age of Ultron, as much as I enjoy the movie and for all the problems it has, one of its big things is it does not move forward quite the same way. So if the Nevers does sort of have that feel to it, that like makes me a little more excited to check it out.
Yeah, I think I texted you this the other day. I got really excited because I was going to watch the last episode of the season, like the mid-season. And I was like, fuck yeah. I like sat down. I opened up HBO and it was like, you've watched all the episodes. And I was like, there was that one. No. And I was so disappointed. Like the last time I've been disappointed by not having a show to watch was, it's been a long time. And I was excited about it. So
that's good. No, that's a good feeling to have. I've been also keeping up with Mythic Quest. It's kind of weird because like a lot of people still poo-poo on Apple TV Plus, and I still don't take it quite as seriously as the other things. But between For All Mankind, Mythic Quest, and Ted Lasso, it has like 3 of the best fucking shows out there right now.
Yeah.
And Mythic Quest is not as widespread as Ted Lasso and how many people watch it and love it. But if you look up the reviews, it's just like fucking stellar across the board. And I feel the same way about that. Like, they're only 20 some odd minute episodes, and yesterday I watched the new one and I was just like, oh man,
I want more.
It's really good. So that's cool. I feel like it's been a while since we've just like both gotten into shows like that of any kind.
Yeah,
we've been both like busy doing other shit.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of stopped watching shows for a while there, just like almost entirely.
Reasonable.
But what I have been also doing is watching Critical Role on my lunch breaks and pump breaks at work. And evidently, this campaign is coming to an end in the next couple weeks. Which is pretty crazy.
I saw some tweets saying that some really crazy shit just happened recently on Crit.
Yeah. I'm trying really hard not to get spoiled, and like the cast is tweeting a lot, and I'm like, stop tweeting about the show. What if people are behind? So I did spoil myself on something that I think is going to happen, and I also spoiled myself on the timing that it was ending. But like ultimately it feels like we're heading into an endgame arc, so it's not like I'm that like upset about knowing that it's wrapping up soon. But it's been good, man. It's this campaign has been really like the good stuff has been so good, but there've also been a couple of arcs that were just like they just dragged on forever. But this feels like a really good arc, and I'm glad that it's ending on a high note.
Yeah. I mean, I know some people that are working on the animated show. So I totally forgot that Vox Machina is not because when they switched to their second campaign is when I like started listening to podcasts, and I fired it up and I was just like, I cannot do 4 hours a week of this. I just can't. which sucks because I know how like prestigious and beloved it is.
Well, I think that's one of those things, like you can't necessarily assume that you're going to keep up with it, right? Like it is just one of those shows that you watch when you have the time for and you remember that it's happening, or you listen to when you have the time for, but like you do not assume you're going to finish an episode in one sitting. Like
that's fair.
And it, you know, obviously 2 hours is also still a lot of time, but if you sit down and say like, oh, I'm going to watch a movie, like you get to the break and then you pause, right?
Yeah.
Because they always do breaks in the middle of the episodes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. At this point, I think I'm too far back, but yeah, I think it does just require that attitude shift. So that might happen. I've listened. Here's the thing. It took me about a week to crush a 4-hour video explaining the lore of Destiny. I've put about 3,000 hours into Destiny over the last 6.5 years. And even after that investment, it took me a long time to decide to watch the 4-hour video and finish it. So yeah, crit would be a big attitude shift. But like it's a thing I want to experience, but I don't want to have to make the commitment. So it's just I have to balance that. That's a me problem.
Yeah,
entirely.
It's right. It's only a commitment if you make a commitment. Like you start listening and you see how it goes.
It's a commitment when there is limited time in which I can do things like that.
But how many years do you have to listen to it? Like, you don't have to listen to the whole thing in, X amount of time. Like, just start listening to it. Enjoy the ride.
No, there is definitely an attention span issue, though, because like you said, they're like, don't assume that you'll ever catch up to it. If I hit a point where, like, I'm behind on a thing, like, if I lose that momentum, it is a lot harder for me to jump back into it. It's much easier for me to say, I can't make the time for it, and then... It's kind of like when you like put down a game like a Skyrim or a Breath of the Wild, and then like 2 years later you pick it up and you load up the game and you're like, I don't remember what I was
I don't even know what buttons are.
I don't know how to jump. This is done. It is I don't know. I just have that hurt. So yeah, I acknowledge it is a me problem, but it's it does bring me to something else though. I don't think we've talked much about the Adventure Zone lately.
No, we have not. How are you feeling about the new start?
Yeah, so I mean, on Geeking Program, talked with Jeff a bit about the end of graduation and kind of our feelings on that. Ether Sea, the new season, I really, really like this build-up stuff.
Same.
I'm super enjoying it because where a lot of my complaints about graduation stemmed from Travis's plan, this feels decidedly planless.
Right.
In a way that I think allows improvisational comedy, improvisational storytelling, collaborative storytelling to excel.
Yeah.
And even in the process of making Dice Populi, like I started off with a lot of plans, and after a little while of letting other people DM in the story, I was just like, nope, can't have plans. Don't do it. Don't have plans. Have ideas.
Right.
Don't have plans.
Yes.
And this feels, even though there aren't really characters, it is enjoyable to go through this decision-making process with them. Yeah. That's what's fun. That's what's fun about tabletop role-playing games, is making the decisions, making choices, and seeing what happens. And this is just about making choices and documenting them and constantly confronting them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's been really fun so far. I think when they were talking about how they'd recorded some of the pre-work and the episodes for the building for the Quiet Year, like they said that they wanted to just keep playing it because it was so fun, and I totally get that. Like,
lost.
Oh no, are you here? You came back to me.
Yeah, I'm back.
You came back to me.
I came back to you. It was me coming up the stairs.
Not gonna lie, probably wouldn't smile as big. Ellie is very cute.
No, you'd be like, Ellie, oh God, I have to host for Colin now. Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
You'd be like my landlord, not the fucking cats again.
The cat guy, oh, jeez.
The cat guy. Yeah, that's me. Sorry, what were you saying about Adventure Zone?
No, I just really like, they talked about how they've been enjoying so much the setup episodes and they didn't want it to end. And I feel similarly, like I've been really enjoying them. And it's hard for me to imagine like transitioning that into a campaign almost because like it is... I would just listen to this. Like, this is fine.
Yeah, I really enjoy this as a thing, especially, and being confronted with, like, writing my own story that I share with other people, going through Destiny in a little more depth now, which is a game with a tremendous amount of lore, revisiting the MCU, being as into Star Trek as I am, like... The idea of lore versus narrative has just been kind of, like, on my mind lately, creatively.
Yeah.
And... this is a really just fun exercise in developing that.
Yeah.
Because you can, you can get down so many tangents trying to come up with backstory for something, but having like a kind of a rigid format and specific tools to turn it into a 1 hour show, like it works so much better than I expected. I would think that coming up with lore would be boring, but also the fact that have you looked at the maps that they put on Twitter as they're drawing it? Like I had really... pretty low expectations, and they were not kidding about that trash geyser looking like a butthole. Like it was alarming. So freaking funny.
Oh, I gotta look at those.
Enhance the experience. I'll try to send that to you. But I'm glad that we're both enjoying it. But thinking about lore versus narrative, we're finally getting to the point in the Ether Sea prologue stuff where they're making world decisions that feel more tangible. Like, spoiler alert, have you listened to the most recent one from 2 days ago?
Yes.
Like, there was a lot of stuff about like which people are working together, which people want to build underground, who wants to build the shit houses. But like now they have one where it's like, hey, they found this coral reef and they're going to use them to make automatons. Yeah. And like that suddenly feels like less like a backstory thing and more like I can't wait to see them play with these.
Yeah, for sure. And that's when I saw, because, the artwork had one of them as like a big coral reef dude. And I was like, one of them is an automaton. And I was like, cool.
Yep. And this whole time I've been scratching my head. I'm like, okay, it's definitely Justin. Like, we know that. Like, no question. Justin is playing the coral man, but I don't get it. And now I do. Yeah. So if that's what he's playing, that's very cool. Yeah. I am like excited for new for new Adventure Zone episodes for the first time in a while. Like, is kind of it sucks to say, but like I was kind of relieved when graduation ended. And
no, I was too.
Go ahead.
And I can tell you like things that happened in the first and second campaigns in whatever. But like if you ask me anything that happened in graduation, I'm like, there was something about an apple and some people, and there was I don't know. That's what I got. Like, and the Garys. I know the Garys, and that's it. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, and I really like the finale. I really like the behind the scenes stuff that they had for it, like the follow up thing. But it's just like in no way do I want to pile on with the people who were like really nasty to Travis about it.
No, I think he did as good a job as he could, but he even said like the beginning of it was definitely something he was trying to force into, and he had much more fun when he was starting to let it be. And I think that's a learning experience. Like, it's not, I've never DM'd because I'm terrified of it, but like, and to imagine DMing for like a very popular podcast, like it's got to be absolutely terrifying.
The pressure has got to be nuts. I never I DM'd before I ever played D&D. I don't know if I ever told you that, but that is sort of like my default mode. I think maybe just recently as a player character in Dice Populi, I've finally maybe played more than I've DM'd.
Yeah. That's fun.
Which is I don't know. I like I like driving things. Like when a project comes up, I'm like, I want to do it. I want to get it done. Hence, I spent a week and learned how to do a little animation thing. Yeah. But I like originally in the early episodes of Dice Populi, there was this cat on the boat, and I was just like, I wonder what I could do with the cat. And I started sketching out ideas. And the whole conceit of Dice Populi is, we take turns dungeon mastering in the same story. So Josh was running his story, and spoiler alert. The cat turned into a person, and I was like, let me just get rid of all these ideas I had. Okay, I was shocked. I was astounded. Yeah. And it is, like, as a DM and as a player who knows he's going to have to DM again in a few sessions, it is definitely a lot more work. Like, you just have to think about everything. Yeah. You really do. But I think that's what I enjoy about it. Like, I don't super enjoy sitting here playing and being able to zone out when it's not my turn. Like, I want to see all the threads connect. Right. And DMing affords you that in a way that being a player doesn't. Because if you're a player and you're trying to connect all those threads, you could end up backseat DMing, and that's not always very fun. Yeah. So
that makes sense. Now, I'm sorry to cut you off. Well, I didn't cut you off. I waited until you were done with your story. I'm sorry to end at that story. I hear a baby, and it is time for me to go be with her now.
It is baby time.
It's baby time.
All right.
But this was so lovely.
Yeah,
so glad
this
to
is
see
very
you.
nice. I gotta say, and this is not throwing shade at you, this is just me shouting out something positive. You messaged me about recording this morning, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And that put a smile on my face.
Nice.
And I do not mean that in any negative way at all. It was just a delight for you to say we should record today, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm
Nice.
down. It
Yeah.
was very, very nice.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was realizing like I meant to do it this week, and like all of a sudden it's Saturday already, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, if we're doing it this
You
week, it's today.
You did the kind of thing I did where earlier this week you were like, this week's probably going to be fine to be recording. I'm like, she's moving. I'm not going to message her about it. I'm not going to make that mistake.
Yeah. Well, I knew I wanted to do it this week because it is significantly harder when I have 2 days off, and
Yes.
and those
Yep.
days are not off anymore. So you know, but
Never
I
off,
figure
that's
we're
fine.
on vacation this week. Tomorrow is actually Charles' cousin is getting married, so we have a wedding to go to,
Oh, gosh.
and then we're both off on Monday, and then back to work on Tuesday.
Sounds like a hell of a weekend.
Yeah. We were really hoping the nanny could come on Monday, but she went away for the weekend also, and she's like, "Oh, I'll be back on Tuesday morning." I was like, "Great." Sure you don't want to come back from your vacation early? That'd be cool.
Oh, man. Well, best of luck. I hope you enjoy the wedding. I hope you
Thank
enjoy
you.
your Monday off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope you get some sleep and that Charles gets big ol' ear boogies out of both of you.
Thank you so much. Maybe I'll send you a picture if something really radical comes out.
Oh, God. Man, I already have a hard enough time keeping up on doing the Instagram. You're going to make me abandon it altogether.
I'm just going to turn into gross stuff. It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'll let you go. Enjoy baby time.
Thank you. I will. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
How You Doing is a Common Geeking program production. Starring Laura Becker and Colin Ketchen, with editing and original music by Colin. You can see and hear more at the website PodFriend.pizza, or follow HousePod on Instagram for a real-life look at their friendship. If you enjoy the show, spread the love. Tell a friend, share your favorite episodes, and remember to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Colin and Laura will talk to you again on the first Monday of every month. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.